Welcome back for game number 2 here as St. Francis looks to split this doubleheader against St. Xavier. St. Francis dropped game 1 by the score of 3-2. It was a tough game, battling back and forth. St. Xavier took a 1-0 lead. They took a 2-1 lead and would walk it off in the bottom of the 7th inning on 3 consecutive singles from Declan Smith, Kevin Dowling, and Evan Orzek, and that would give St. Xavier the 3-2 victory. We are underway here in game number 2, and on the mound for St. Xavier today is the righty Tommy Doherty. Tommy 3-1 on the year with an ERA of 6.98. And he's behind in the count here to Nate Maliska, 2-1. Doherty, 21 hits in 19 innings, 7 walks, 16 strikeouts. Opponent's batting .273 against the big righty. Maliska lines that ball foul down the left field line. Doherty, a 6'4", 205-pound righty out of Alsip. And the lineup he will face here in game number 2 for St. Francis looks like this. Batting leadoff will be the first baseman, Nate Maliska. Batting second and playing third base, Hector Carrillo. Batting third out and right is Eric Maffey. The payoff pitch swung on and missed. Maliska's down swinging. First batter, first strikeout of the game for Doherty. Eric Maffey bats third, plays right field. Luke Ketchum bats cleanup, plays center. Brian Hidalgo bats fifth and is the shortstop, John McGuire. The losing pitcher in game 1 bats sixth and plays second base. Gio Pappas gets the start behind the plate in replacing Jake Lasota for game 2. Batting 8th will be Dan Gusel, and batting 9th will be Jake Vera. Pitches away to Carrillo. Count is 1-1. Carrillo went 0 for 4 in game 1 of this doubleheader. Fouls that pitch off to the right, out of play. Hector came in batting just over 300 here this afternoon. Is 0 for 4 in game 1. Will drop that average below the 300 mark. Fist this one to the right. One and two now. Popped up on the infield. Second baseman Ryan comes over for it. The wind blows it back and it lands in the outfield. So the wind played havoc on that one as it fooled the second baseman, Sam Ryan. We'll see if that's ruled a hit or an error. It was a tough play, but at any rate, Hector Carrillo on at first here and it's going to be ruled an E4. So Hector Carrillo on at first base with 1 out here in the first inning. That'll bring up Eric Maffey now, the right fielder. Eric was 1 for 3. He doubled and scored a run in game 1. Line to double to right center field, a low line drive that just kept skipping on that outfield turf. Eric found himself at second. Well, they changed it to a hit, so that's now a hit for Carrillo. 1-1 the count on Maffey. Eric smacks that one to right. Barrios is there, though. He makes the catch, 2 away. And that will bring up the cleanup hitter and center fielder, Luke Ketchum. Luke was 1 for 3 with a double in game 1. He had a leadoff double in the second inning. It's an opportunity for St. Francis to get on the board early. But 3 straight strikeouts by the starter in game 1. Nico Saldias would leave him there. It was a fantastic pitcher's duel in game 1. Nico Saldias for St. Xavier, 6 innings, 4 hits, 2 runs, 1 earned run. As there's a base hit to left for Ketchum. So 2 on, 2 outs here as Carrillo moves down to second, and that'll bring up Hidalgo here with the Saints threatening in the first. Zaldias walked 1 in those 6 innings, struck out 8. Sam Pileggi on the other side for St. Francis was terrific. 5 innings, 3 hits, 2 runs. He walked 2 and struck out a season and career high 8 batters. He was fantastic. Went pitch for pitch with Nico Zaldias, and John McGuire came on in the 6th, gave up a hit in the 6th. Sent the first 2 batters down in the 7th, but then gave up 3 consecutive singles, and that allowed the Cougars to walk it off. Speaking of walking it off, Brian Hidalgo fouls that pitch off his foot. He has to walk it off. He was 1 for 3 with a double and an RBI in game 1. 2 runners on here with 2 outs in the first. Carrillo at second, Ketchum at first. The 0-1 in the dirt, gets away. It's underneath Orzik. Aaron Orzik, the catcher here for game number 2, doesn't know where it is, and both runners will advance. Base hit now, may score a couple here for the Saints. Hidalgo looking for that clutch 2-out hit here early in this game. Down the third base line, just foul. Hayes makes the diving attempt down there, but it's out of his reach. So it'll stay at 1-2. Here comes the 1-2 from Doherty. Downstairs for a ball, 2-2. Brian Hidalgo picked up his 6th double and 11th RBI of the season in game 1. That double tied the score at 2. This one's lined down the right field line. In on it comes Barrios. He doesn't get there. Here comes the second run. Carrillo scores. Ketchum scores. That is a 2-run clutch RBI single from Brian Hidalgo, giving the Saints an early 2-0 lead. Just fought that ball off down the right field line, and Barrios just not able to get there. So for Hidalgo, those are RBIs 12 and 13. And the Saints jump on the board here in the first. It's 2-0. John McGuire now takes the pitch inside for a ball. John 1 for 3 in game 1. The 1-0 on the outside edge, 1-1. If McGuire reaches, Gio Pappas gets a chance to hit here in the first. Gio's the DH here this afternoon in game 2. McGuire fouls that into the stands. One and 2 on McGuire. Pitches away. They're going to appeal to the umpire, and they're going to say McGuire went around. John doesn't agree. I tend to agree with John, but my vote doesn't count, unfortunately. We go to the bottom of the first inning. The Saints lead 2-0. bottom of inning one. And the big righty on the mound for St. Francis is Mac Melcheski. Mac making his 6th appearance of the season, his 5th start. He's 1-2 with an ERA 4.29. Control tends to be a bugaboo here for Mac as he's walked 15, struck out 11 in 21 innings. Opponents are hitting .268 against the 6'5", 215-pound grad student out of Mount Prospect. And this is the lineup he will face for St. Xavier here in game number 2. Declan Smith will bat leadoff and play shortstop. Kevin Dowling bats second and plays left. First pitch swinging by Smith, gobbled up by Hidalgo. 1 pitch, 1 out here in the first. So Smith bats leadoff, Dowling bats second and plays left. Evan Orzik will be the designated hitter here for game number 2. Joe Reisers is your first baseman batting cleanup. Patrick Hayes bats 5th and plays 3rd. Colin Wolfe moves up to the 6th spot, playing center field. Sam Ryan will bat 7th and play second base. Aaron Orzik will do the catching and bat 8th, and Daniel Barrios will bat 9th and play right field against Melcheski. The 0-1 now to Dowling. Line drive to right center field, gets down for a base hit, catch him over, slides, and Dowling will make his way into second with a 1-out double here. Ball just kept curving away from Luke Ketchum out in center field, and that allowed Dowling to scamper into second with a 1-out double. Defense here for St. Francis on the infield. Third to first, Carrillo, Hidalgo, McGuire, and Maliska in the outfield. Left to right, Vera, Ketchum, and Maffey. Usol behind the dish. And Melcheski on the mound, looking for a second victory of the season. He'll face Evan Orzik here. Evan had the walk-off RBI single in the 7th inning of game 1. He swings at the first pitch, fouls it down the left field line. He went 1 for 4 in that game. He swung at the first pitch. The last 3 batters, Smith, Dowling, and Orzik, all swung at either the first or the second pitch of the at-bat against John McGuire in game 1. It was after 2 quick outs as well. The 0-1 misses away. Infield shifted over towards the right side for Orzik. Long look into second. Comes home with it. Misses away, 2-1. That base hit in the 7th inning extended Orzik's hitting streak to 4 games. In 6 of his last 7. Breaking pitch on the inner half. Called a strike, 2-2. St. Francis picked up a couple of runs in the first inning. A 2-run single from Brian Hidalgo allows them to jump out to an early lead. 2-2 to Orzik. Grounded to the left side. Right there is Hidalgo. Scoops, fires, and Orzik is retired on the 6-3 putout. 2 away, and that'll bring up Joe Reisers. Joe is 0 for 2. Walked and scored a run in game number 1. So Kevin Dowling still at second now with 2 outs. Infield shifts over the other way now with third baseman Carrillo only a couple of steps off the line. First pitch to the first baseman. Grounded to the shortstop. Scooped up again by Hidalgo. And Hidalgo was a perfect 3 for 3 there in the first. That's first inning in the books as St. Xavier strands a runner at first. We go to the second, 2-0. Saints with the lead. We're back for inning number 2, and the Saints will send up the bottom third of their order against Tommy Doherty. 7, 8, and 9. Gio Pappas, Dan Gusol, and Jake Vera. Gio 4 for 18 on the season. Does have a home run, 4 runs knocked in. A really solid offensive year a year ago. 329. 3 home runs, 9 runs knocked in just 70 plate appearances. See what he can do here against Doherty. Swings and misses at the first pitch. 0-1. So the Saints up 2-0 here in the early going. Pappas swings and misses again. He's quickly down in the count. 0-2. Three pitches, 3 swings. This one in the dirt. They have to throw it down to first. Pappas is the third strikeout victim. 2-3 put out. Third strikeout victim of the game here for Doherty through an inning and a third, and that'll bring up Dan Gusol. Dan 4 for 19 here in the early going with a home run. Gets the start behind the plate here in game number 2. First pitch, grounds it to Hayes at third. Hayes across the diamond. Quickly, 2 outs here in the second. Bring up the number 9 man, Jake Vera. Jake 1 for 2 in game 1. He walked, and he had a sacrifice bunt and a stolen base. Singled in the 7th, was able to steal second base, made it over to third, but was stranded there in the 7th inning. Squares to bunt. Pitch misses up and away for a ball. Second pitch to Vera is also this one way upstairs, 2-0. That one on the outer edge, 2-1 to Jake. Vera off the fist, fouls it off to the left, out of play. 2-2. Vera came into this doubleheader batting .279 with a 1 for 2, pushes that average up over .280. Pitch upstairs, still a far cry from his numbers last year, where he hit .366 and 161 at bats, but still early in the season. Fouled at the plate, 3-2 the count now on Vera. Looking to get Maliska an opportunity here to bat in the second with a runner on base. The payoff pitch. And he strikes out Vera swinging. So that's 4 strikeouts now for Doherty through 2. See if his offense can get something going for him here. His team trails 2-0 as we head to the bottom of the second. We are back for the bottom of the second inning. St. Francis was the 2-0 lead over St. Xavier here. A 2-run single in the first inning off the bat of Brian Hidalgo would give Mac Malcheski the early lead. Mac gave up a one-out double to Kevin Dowling in the first, but three ground ball outs to the shortstop. And Malcheski would get out of the inning without any issues. So Brian Hidalgo having himself a pretty solid inning and a third here. 3 putouts and a couple of RBIs. And Cougars will send up 5, 6, 7 here in inning number 2. That's Patrick Hayes, Colin Wolfe, Sam Ryan. Hayes swings and fouls that one off the dish. It's 1-1. Hayes was 1 for 2. He had an RBI and a walk in game 1. A 3-2 Cougars victory. Pitch popped up shallow right center field, and the right fielder Maffey and center fielder Ketchum collide, but Luke is able to squeeze it for the out. So one away, but a very scary play out there in right center field as your two best offensive players collide in right center field. But in the box score, it looks like an F8. One away here in the second. Colin Wolfe now. Colin 0 for 3 in game 1. First pitch from Malcheski's in there for a strike. And I talked about in the pregame Mac's issues with his control. He has 15 bases on balls in 21 innings against only 11 strikeouts. So he's able to get ahead in the count here and pitch to his defense. And it hasn't hurt him too much. I mean, he's put up that 4.29 ERA so far in 5 outings. So he's been able to work around those bases on balls, and he's able to strike out Wolfe on 3 pitches here. Throws the high, hard one past him. 2 away here in the second. Sam Ryan now for St. Xavier. He didn't play in game 1. Sam, a .268 hitter on the season, 11 for 41, 9 knocked in. Gets the start at second in game 2. Swings at the first pitch, lofts it to shallow right field. In comes Maffey. Maffey squeezes it, and that's a really, really quick 1-2-3 second inning here for Malcheski. Looking sharp through 2. We go to the third. The Saints up 2-0. Inning number 3 here in Joliet, Dooley Health and Care Field. And the Saints will send up the top of the order against Tommy Doherty, the top of the order. They put up 2 runs on 3 hits in the first inning. Staked them to a 2-0 lead here, top of the third. Nate Maliska, Hector Carrillo, and Eric Maffey will bat here. And if anybody reaches, Luke Ketchum. First pitch is upstairs to Maliska. Nate struck out swinging in the first. Nate, just a freshman, playing first base and batting leadoff. I don't see a lot of first basemen batting leadoff these days. Nate's got that batting eye. Drew a walk in game 1 and has a base hit here in game 2. A leadoff single for Nate right back up the box. Leadoff man on here in the third. Hector Carrillo now. He's 1 for 1. He singled and scored in the first. Hit a pop-up into shallow center field, and the second baseman, Ryan, had to range over to the shortstop side of the bag, and the ball just kept carrying out towards center. Really stiff wind blowing out to center field, and Carrillo's hit by the first pitch. So he will go down to first base, and Saints have something cooking here in inning number 3. First two men reach, and Eric Maffey steps in. Eric flew out to right in the first inning. Eric looking for a big hit, had a double in the first game. Doherty steps off the bag. Doherty does have a winning record this year. He's 3-1, but has an ERA close to 7. Maffey smacks that one down the left field line, fair into the corner. In from third comes Maliska, hitting third, rounding third. Carrillo's held up there. Maffey into second with a stand-up double. It's an RBI double, and it's 3-0 Saints. He wasted no time, turned on that pitch, drove it down the left field line, and the Saints looking to pour it on here early. They're up 3-0, inning number 3. Luke Ketchum now. 2 in scoring position, nobody out. Luke singled and scored in the first. That was RBI number 20 for Eric Maffey on the season. And that ball gets down into center field. Carrillo comes in to score. Maffey stops for a second. The throw, he's safe at home. Ketchum down to second on the throw. It's a 2-run single, and it's 5-0. Little hesitant there for a second as Maffey was held up at third, but the center fielder Wolf misplayed the ball out in center field, and that allowed Maffey to turn on the Jets and just beat the throw home. So it's going to be a single and an error, so 1 RBI for Ketchum as he knocks in Carrillo. Maffey scores on the E8, and St. Francis offense cooking here in game number 2. They already have more hits here in game 2 than they had in all of game 1. 6 hits here in game number 2. They only had 5 in the entirety of game 1. Meeting at the mound here as Doherty's gotten roughed up through 2+, 6 hits, 5 runs. He has struck out 4, but the Saints have put some good swings on his pitches here through 2+ innings. Brian Hidalgo had that big swing in the first inning, a 2-run single that drove home Carrillo and Ketchum. He now has Ketchum at second with nobody out in the third inning. First pitch to Hidalgo's smoked to left field. Back on it goes Dowling. He looks up. That ball is gone. Brian Hidalgo, line drive, home run to left. It's 7-0. Brian wasted absolutely no time, and he drilled that one on a line to left field. A 2-run home run to left. And the Saints have a touchdown on the board here in the third inning for Hidalgo. That's his first home run of the season. He's got 4 RBIs, and we're 2+ innings into this game. John McGuire now. He struck out to end the first. The Saints, a 7-0 third inning lead here. Pitch almost hits John. He backs out of the way. Single by Maliska. Carrillo hit by a pitch. Eric Maffey with an RBI double, Luke Ketchum with an RBI, and Brian Hidalgo with the big bomb, a 2-run shot. One to McGuire, fouled back. It's Brian Hidalgo in the series now, or in this doubleheader now, 3 for 5. With a single, a home run, a double, and 5 RBIs. 1-1. Lofted to right. Twisting, foul, and out of play. McGuire down in the count, 1-2. Gio Pappas and Dan Gusel on deck. 2-2 now. There is right-handed action down in the Cougars bullpen, down the third base line. Sidearm delivery down there. Ground ball back up the middle, fielded by Doherty nicely. Throws it over to first for the first out of the inning. So Doherty does a nice job fielding his position there and retiring McGuire. That ball was ticketed for center field. Gio Pappas now. Gio struck out on 3 pitches in the second inning. Just inside. Almost caught Pappas on that left elbow. Gio didn't move. 1-0. The 5 spot here in the third for St. Francis. Gio fouls that one down the third base line. 1-1. Brian Hidalgo came in at .333 on the season. Is 3 for 5, 1 homer, 5 RBI doubleheader here so far. Is going to make those numbers look a lot better. Pappas takes that ball inside for a ball, 2-1. That one catches the inner edge. 2-2 now on Pappas, the designated hitter here in game number 2. Pappas lines that one into right field for a base hit. So Gio just goes with the pitch, gets it over the head of the second baseman, Ryan, into right field. It's a 1-out single for Pappas. That'll bring up Gusel. Dan grounded to third his first time up. Came in 4 for 19 on the season. He's at an even 200 now with his 0 for 1 today. It's now 7 runs on 8 hits for the Saints here in 2 1/3 innings. Breaking pitch in there for a strike. Jake Vera stands in the on-deck circle. Banged back up the middle. And St. Xavier is able to turn over the 6-4-3 double play. But the Saints put up 5, highlighted by a 2-run laser home run by Brian Hidalgo. We head to the bottom of the third. Saints up big. Bottom of inning number 3, and Mac Milcheski has himself some runs to work with as his offense has given him 7 here through 2.5 innings, and he will face the bottom of the St. Xavier lineup here. Aaron Orzik, Daniel Barrios, and back up to the top of the order in Declan Smith. So Aaron Orzik gets the start here in game number 2. Evan Started game number 1. Aaron at 273. 6 for 22 with a home run and 3 knocked in. First 2 pitches missed, 2-0. Milcheski kicks and fires. Ball hit out to left field. Vera's right there, though. Makes the head-high catch. 1 away here in the 3rd. So Max doing a nice job not putting runners on via walk. 15 walks in 22 innings coming into today's matchup. Nothing so far through 2 1/3. Does have a strikeout. Gave up a double to Kevin Dowling in the 1st. That's been it. Now he can pitch to contact with his team up by a touchdown. Daniel Barrios steps in now. He had a home run in game 1. It was a line drive homer to right to get the scoring started in that first game. He's up in the count here, 1-0. Off-speed pitch topped at the plate, 1-1. Second baseman McGuire about 3 or 4 steps back on the outfield grass over there at second base. Rest of the infield shifted a little over to the right. Pitch inside. Barrios gets out of the way, 2-1. Right fielder Maffey deep and shaded over towards that right field line. Breaking pitch misses inside. That was a strike in pretty much every time in that first game. Called the ball here. 3-1 now. In the dirt, and there is the first walk of the game for Milcheski. That's a 1-out walk to the number 9 hitter, Daniel Barrios, and that'll bring us back up to the top of the order in Declan Smith. Declan swung at the first pitch he saw in the first inning and grounded out to Brian Hidalgo. First pitch here to Smith is, I guess, upstairs for a ball. 1-0. Throw over to first, back in safely is Barrios. Milcheski with the 1-0 now to Declan Smith. Smith hits it to straightaway center. Ketchum is back, makes the over-the-shoulder catch for the second out of the inning. So Smith gives it a ride, but Ketchum doing what he does, playing stellar center field defense. Hasn't committed an error in nearly 2 years now. He's able to squeeze that one for the second out of the inning. That'll bring up Kevin Dowling. Dowling doubled in the first. Went 2 for 4 in game number 1. First pitch, the breaking pitch on the inner half for a strike, 0-1. Mac, a grad student, going to finish his collegiate career on a strong note in ERA, just north of 4. Looking for his second victory of the season. There goes the runner from first. Hit and run put on. Dowling fouls it off. He's down in the count, 0-2. "26 pitches here for Mac through 2 2/3. He's been relatively efficient as well. You would think somebody who walks a lot of batters would throw a lot of pitches, but so far here, relatively efficient here in game 2 of this doubleheader. St. Francis looking to snap a long losing streak and win their first game on their home field this year. If they get the victory here this afternoon, this will be considered a road victory, though, as they are considered the road team. Throw down to second, and Barrios is dead to rights. as Gusel throws him out, and that will retire the side on the 2-6 caught stealing. We go to the fourth. The Saints, 7-0 lead. New pitcher on the mound here for St. Xavier. That's going to do it for Tommy Doherty. 2 innings. He gave up 8 hits, 7 runs. They were all earned. He didn't walk anybody. He struck out 4, gave up a home run to Brian Hidalgo. And Max Smith will come in here for the 3rd inning. Max making his 6th appearance of the year. 1-1 on the year, 1.29 earned run average, 7 innings, 8 hits. Just 1 run. Walked 5, struck out 6. Opponents batting .267 against Max Smith. The junior out of Tinley Park, 6'4", 225-pound right-hander. First batter he will face will be Jake Vera. Jake struck out to end the 2nd inning, 1 of 4 for Doherty. Vera lashes that pitch foul out of play, 0-2. Infield and outfield straight up and normal against Vera. Jake 1 for 2 in game 1. Smith almost a 3/4 or close to sidearm style delivery. A lot of arms and legs in his motion. Whips the ball out there from 3/4, and that ball called a ball, 2-2. Third baseman Patrick Hayes holding that glove up like he was waiting for the throw from the catcher. The 2-2 now to Vera. Upstairs for a ball, 3-2. 9-1-2. Vera, Maliska, and Carrillo here for the Saints in the 4th. They lead 7-0. Vera gets a piece of it, fouls it back. And the sun is out here at Dooley Health and Care Field. It was expected to be mostly cloudy, but the sun is peeking through the clouds here in Joliet here for game number 2. The temperature approaches 50 degrees. It doesn't feel that way with the wind. Vera swings and misses there. First strikeout of the game for Smith. 1 away here in the 4th. Nate Maliska now. Nate's got the rally started in the 3rd with a leadoff single back up the middle. He's 1 for 2 here today. 1 for 5 in the series. He's been on base a couple of times, walked in game 1, singled here in game 2. That pitch catches the plate for a strike, 0-1. Late on the swing, chopped over to the St. Xavier bench. Nice play down there by somebody. One-handed grab. And it's 0-2 on Maliska. H struck out to get this thing started back in the first. Fouls that ball back. Stays 0-2 on the Saints' first baseman, the freshman, Nate Maliska. Here comes the 0-2. Line drive right back up the middle. A couple of hits now for Nate here in the second game. Ground ball back up the middle and a line drive back up the middle. It's what you like to see. Taking that pitch right back up the box. That'll bring up Hector Carrillo. Hector's reached twice, scored twice. Singled and scored in the first, was hit by a pitch and scored in the third. It's the 9th hit of the game here already for St. Francis. 1 out in inning number 4. Pitch is up and in for a strike. That's got to be really uncomfortable as a right-handed batter. That angle that Smith releases that ball from almost feels like it's behind you if you're a hitter. 2-0 on Carrillo. Maffey stands in the on-deck circle, followed by Ketchum. Doggos is ready. Back on that right leg, holds the bat high, the red batting gloves. Inside, 3-0. Offense came alive early here as Brian Hidalgo with a 2-run single in the first. 3-1. They went down in order in the second, but the first 5 men reached in the third. The first 5 men scored in the third. Single, hit by pitch, double, single, home run. And you look up and it's 7-0. Saints with the lead. 3-1 now on Carrillo. Another strike. 3-2. Carrillo kicks at the dirt. Count goes full. See if Maliska's off here with the 3-2 count with 1 out. His team up 7. Smith is ready. Check on Maliska over at first. Nate's back in safely, standing up. Carrillo's ready again. Maliska takes off. Line drive, base hit into left field. Up to second goes Maliska. Carrillo down to first. He's now reached 3 times here this afternoon in game 2. 2 singles and a hit by pitch, and that'll bring up Eric Maffey. Eric doubled and drove in a run in the third inning. It's a hard ground ball by Carrillo through the left side. 2 on, 1 out in inning number 4. Saints looking to pile it on. First pitch to Maffey. Eric backs out of the way. 1-0. Infield shading Eric slightly to the left. So there's a big hole over there on the right side of the infield. The 1-0 to the number 3 hitter. Breaking pitch over for a strike. 1-1. Smith talking to the second base umpire about something. Not entirely sure what the discussion is, but Smith either got the answer he wanted or didn't get the answer he wanted, and we are back to the 2-1 pitch. Away, 3-1. Both runners, Meliska and Carrillo, bouncing off their respective bases. Meliska at second, Carrillo down at first. Trying to get in the head of the pitcher, Max Smith. Eric Maffey in the driver's seat here. 3-1. 2 on, 1 out, 7-0. Saints with the lead here in the fourth. Smith turns and fires to second. Back in safely is Meliska diving. Ryan tried to sneak in behind him. Wind still whipping out to left and left center field as it's been doing all afternoon. The 3-1 now to Maffey. Upstairs for a ball, and that will load the bases for Luke Ketchum here, as there's no place to put him. Saints already with a 7-run lead, and Ketchum already 2 for 2 in this game. Couple of singles, an RBI, a couple of runs scored. Ketchum looking to blow this thing wide open here. 395 hitter coming into the doubleheader today. He was 1 for 3 in game one. He's 2 for 2 here today. So that 3 for 5 pushes that average up over 400 on the season for the Saints center fielder. Takes that pitch over for a strike. 3 home runs and now 13 RBIs for Luke. Looking to expand that number quite a bit here if he can find a gap someplace. Line drive right at the shortstop, and Carrillo back into second safely. So Ketchum hit it on the screws, but he hit it right at Smith for the second out of the inning. Doesn't get any easier, though, for St. Xavier here as Brian Hidalgo steps in. Brian already 2 for 2 in this game. 4 RBIs, a 2-run single in the first and a 2-run home run to left. An absolute laser beam to left field his last time up, to give his team, at the time, a 7-0 lead, a chance to do even more damage here with the bases loaded in the fourth. First pitch is outside to Hidalgo for a ball. It's the first home run of the season for Hidalgo. He has RBIs 12, 13, 14, and 15 here in game 2 already. Pitch is behind him. Oh, they're going to say it hit Hidalgo's bat. That pitch went behind Brian, and the home plate umpire is going to say it hit his bat. The two umpires will converse here. Brian took a couple steps down the first base line as if to say the ball hit me, and that may have tricked the home plate umpire into thinking that he heard something. Let's see what the two umpires figure out here. Home plate umpire called that a foul ball. Long discussion down there by the two men in black. And they're going to say he was hit by a pitch, so Hidalgo is going to pick up his 5th RBI of the game on a hit by pitch, and it's 8-0. So it took a little while to get there, but we got there, and Hidalgo now is on base for the 3rd time. He has a 2-run single, a 2-run home run, and an RBI on a hit by pitch. 5 RBIs here through 3 2/3 innings for the Saints' number 5 hitter. That'll bring up now John McGuire. John 0 for 2 in this one. He was 1 for 3 in game 1. He picked up the loss on the mound, an inning and 2/3. He gave up 4 singles and a run. You know he'd love to contribute offensively here, get something down in the outfield, drive home a couple of runs, get this thing to double digits. And it looks like we're going to have a pitching change. So that will be it here for Max Smith as he goes 2/3 of an inning. Gives up 2 hits, a walk, a strikeout, is responsible for all 3 runners. And we'll be back with the particulars on this new pitcher for St. Xavier in just a minute. Third pitcher of the day here for St. Xavier is the right-hander, the junior Caleb Zier. Caleb, a 5'10", 190-pound junior out of Rockford, making his 6th appearance of the season, 1-0 with an ERA of 2.45. 7 1/3 innings. First pitch swinging line down to Hayes. Hayes goes the short way to second, and McGuire is retired on the fielder's choice. But Saints pick up another run. We're going to go to the bottom of the 4th. St. Francis up 8-0. Mac Milcheski back out there for his 4th inning of work. 3 innings so far. Just 1 hit, 1 walk, 1 strikeout. The grad student out of Mount Prospect hasn't given up more than 3 earned runs in a start this season. His last time out was back on the 9th against Bellevue of Nebraska. He went 4 1/3 innings, gave up 7 hits, 3 runs, walked a couple, struck out a couple. And he's ahead of Dowling here, 0-1. His best start of the year. Actually had back-to-back really good starts back on the 18th against Lyon. 1 hit in 4 1/3 innings. He did walk 5 in that one, but didn't give up a single run. And then his next time out against Mount Mercy on the 26th, 2 earned runs in 6 innings. So he's putting some players on base via walk, but he's getting around it. And so far the results have been positive for Mac. 1-1 here on Dowling. Misses away for a ball, 2-2. Or 2-1 rather, excuse me. Inside to Dowling, 3-1. Dowling the only hit of the game here against Milcheski so far, a 1-out double in the first. Matt comes home with the 3-1. Hit in the air out to shallow left center field. Over forward is Ketchum. He calls everybody off and makes the catch, 1 away. Didn't want a repeat of the 2nd inning where he ran into Eric Maffey on a fly ball. That brings up Evan Orzik now. Orzik grounded to short in the first. He was 4 batters came to bat in the first inning. 3 of them grounded out to Brian Hidalgo, who's had himself a game here. He's been perfect in the field. He's 2 for 2 with 5 RBIs here in the second game. First pitch to Orzik is away for a ball. Pitch on the inner half, called a strike. Orzik didn't like that one. Or at least he's discussing it with the home plate umpire. Ruled a strike, 1-1. Infield swung to the right here against Orzik. Hit in the air out to center. Ketchum goes back on it. Ball's over his head. 1 hops the wall. Thrown back in, and Orzik will stroll into second with a 1-out double. So Evan gave that one a ride. Ketchum couldn't catch up with that one. And it's the second hit of the game here for St. Xavier. as they look to crack open the nut that has been Mac Milcheski here thus far this afternoon. Reisers now, he grounded out to short his first time up. First pitch to Reisers, lined back up the box, down for a single. Hitting third and stopping will be Orsic, and St. Xavier's got something going here in the fourth. Runners at the corners with one out, and Patrick Hayes stepping in. Hayes flew out to center in the second. He was 1 for 2 with an RBI and a walk in game one. Ground ball gets him out of the inning here. Let's see what Milcheski can come up with here the second time through the order against this St. Xavier lineup. He's now giving up 3 hits, 1 walk, and 1 strikeout through 3 1/3. First pitch swinging line to left. Vera is there, but it bounces in front of him. Orsic comes in to score. Reisers down to second. Hayes into first with his second RBI of the day. And it's 8-1. St. Xavier on the board. First and second now, 1 out. And Colin Wolf. But again, pitching to contact. Give up the hard hit to Orsic, but Reisers with a looping single, and then Hayes just floated that one in front of Vera. So pitching to contact, letting your defense try to get you out of these. Don't put players on via walk. As Wolf swings through the first pitch. Wolf was a strikeout victim back in the second. Fouled off of Gusol, 0-2. For Hayes, that's RBI number 9 on the season. Patrick 1 for 2 in game 1, 1 for 2 here in game 2. The 0-2 to Wolf, swung on and missed. And it's a second strikeout of Wolf by Milcheski here this afternoon, and that's a big one. 2 outs now, runners at first and second. Sam Ryan flew out lazily to right field his first time up. Milcheski looking to get through 4 here with just the 1 run. Double, single, single. Gives the Cougars their first run of the afternoon. Milcheski tries to catch Reisers by surprise, but Joe back in safely. 8-1 here, bottom of the fourth. Runner at second, Joe Reisers. Runner at first, Patrick Hayes. Sam Ryan at the plate. Mac Milcheski on the mound. First pitch from Mac to Ryan is downstairs for a ball. Eight runs, 10 hits, no errors for the Saints. 1-4-1 for the Cougars. There's a breaking ball that doesn't break in enough, stays inside, 2-0. If Ryan reaches, Aaron Orsic would get a chance to hit. The 2-0. There's a strike, 2-1. Wind blowing straight out to center field now. It's been blowing pretty steady all afternoon. Been shifting between left center, and center. 2-1 now to Ryan. Well outside, blocked nicely by Gusol. 3-1. This has been the first inning that Mac has struggled, really. Gave up that double in the first, but 3 ground ball outs. Set the side down in order in the second. Walked a batter in the third, but was able to get out of that with just facing the minimum as Barrios was caught stealing. 3-1 pitch popped up on the right side. Maliska coming in has to range over towards second base, and he's able to make the stumbling catch. And Milcheski pumps his fist as he approves. We're through 4. The Saints are up 8-1. head to the fifth. St. Francis up 8-1 here as each team scored a run in the fourth inning. Saints will send up Pappas, Gusol, and Vera here in the fifth against Caleb Zier, who was able to throw one pitch and get John McGuire to ground out to end the fourth with the bases loaded. Max Smith, 2/3 of an inning, a couple of hits, gave up a run. He walked one, he struck out one, he hit a batter. And Pappas pops it up to shallow center field. Second baseman Ryan is there to make the catch, one away. Zier's thrown two pitches and has two outs to show for it. Gusol comes up now. Dan's 0 for 2. He's grounded out a couple of times, grounded into a double play. His last time up to end the third inning. That was the big inning, the 5-run third inning for St. Francis, highlighted by a Brian Hidalgo 2-run home run to left. First pitch in there for a strike. 0-1. Grounded hard to third. Hayes has it. Plenty of time. 2 away. 2 quick outs here in the fifth inning. Jake Vera. Jake's 0 for 2. He struck out twice. Struck out to end the second, and he struck out leading off last inning. The lefty squares to bunt, takes the pitch outside as Hayes comes charging in from third. Squares to bunt again, pulls it back. This time it's called a strike, 1-1. Pitch away. 2-1 on the number 9 hitter, Jake Vera. If he reaches, Nate Maliska gets a chance to hit. Nate's 2 for 3. Singles his last 2 times up. 3-1 now on Vera. Jake came in at 279 on the season. 1 for 2 in game 1, 0 for 2 here in game 2 so far. 1 home run, 8 runs knocked in on the year. Pitch is a strike. Jake couldn't pull the trigger. Started to. Couldn't pull the trigger. Count goes full. Here comes the payoff. Misses low and away for a ball. So they will flip the lineup here in the fifth inning. Nate Maliska gets a chance to hit with a runner on base. Nate 2 singles up the middle in each of his last 2 plate appearances. First one was a ground ball up the middle. Second one was a line drive up the middle. He's reached base 3 times here in the doubleheader. Walked in game 1. Has those 2 singles here in game 2. First pitch swinging, line drive out to center, over to make the grab is Wolf. So Maliska hit that one right on the button, but right at the center fielder Wolf, and that will retire the side. We're halfway through this one. The Saints 8, St. Xavier 1. We are back with the bottom of inning at number 5 here. Mac Milcheski, 4 innings of 1 run, 4 hit ball. He's walked 1, struck out 2, and he'll face 8, 9, and 1 for the Cougars here. Aaron Orzik, Daniel Barrios, and Declan Smith. If anybody reaches Kevin Dowling. His team has given him a 7-run cushion here as he gets ahead of Orzik, 0-1. Aaron flew out to left in the 3rd inning. Ground ball to short, fielded by Hidalgo. Strong throw across the diamond, and Brian continues to play terrific defense to go along with that bat here that has contributed 5 RBIs to the cause here in game number 2. St. Francis looks to end an extended losing streak and win their first game on their home field this year. Daniel Barrios steps in now. He walked in the 3rd. He was caught stealing to end that 3rd inning. First pitch to him is away. Eight, 10-0 for St. Francis, 1-4-1 for St. Xavier. Foul ball straight back by Barrios, 1-1. Milcheski came into this one 21 innings on the year, 22 hits, 15 walks, and 11 strikeouts. So far through 4 1/3, 4 hits, 1 walk, and 2 strikeouts. So we sort of flipped the script here a little bit. So the count's 2-1 on Barrios. Pitch misses just downstairs, 3-1. Here comes the 3-1 now. Upstairs, and Barrios draws his 2nd walk of the game. That's the 2nd walk of the game for Milcheski. So Mac has 2 strikeouts. Both of them are of Colin Wolfe. He has 2 walks. Both of them are to Daniel Barrios. So back up to the top of the order now. Declan Smith 0 for 2. Ground out and a fly out so far for Declan. 1 for 6 in the series. First pitch hit out to left center field. Vera's not going to get that one. Splits the defenders up against the wall, rounding 3rd. Barrios will score. Declan Smith into 2nd with an RBI double, and it's 8-2 now. Declan Smith does not waste time at the plate. He is up there swinging. He has swung early in the count all afternoon, and this time comes through with a double to left center. Gets St. Xavier just that much closer now at 8-2. Kevin Dowling, who's had a pretty solid doubleheader, 3 for 6 here in the doubleheader, 2 for 4 in the first game, 1 for 2 here in game 2 with a double. Back in the first. Pitch upstairs. Mac into his 5th inning, his longest outing of the year was 6 back on the 26th of February against Mount Mercy. His last 2 times out were 4 innings against Weber International and then 4 1/3 against Bellevue, his last appearance. So he's at that 4 1/3 mark right here, and he's 2-0 on Dowling. Evan Orzik in the on-deck circle. So the 2nd and now 3rd time through the order, St. Xavier putting some better swings on Mac. Throw down to 2nd, and back in there safely is Declan Smith. The count's 3-0 here on Dowling. So Mac's struggling with his control a little bit here in the 5th. Walked Barrios. Give up a double to Declan Smith. Still 8-2. Saints with the lead. The 3-0. Breaking pitch right there for a strike. Outfield straight up on Dowling. Infield, with the exception of McGuire, pretty much straight up as well. The 3-1 now. Breaking pitch upstairs. There's the 3rd walk of the game for Mac. Puts runners on 1st and 2nd now with 1 out. And the dangerous Evan Orzik coming in, and we'll have a mound visit here. No action down in the St. Francis bullpen, so this is more of a settled down, I think, type conversation, as we will have a couple players hustling down to the bullpen just as I say that. Runner at second is Declan Smith. Runner at first is Kevin Dowling. Evan Orzik doubled and scored in the fourth. Hit a ball over the head of Luke Ketchum in center field. So St. Xavier's put up a run in each of the last 2 innings. The Saints jumped out to a huge lead. It was 8-0 after 3.5. Looks like a right-hander starting to get loose down in the St. Francis bullpen. First pitch from Melcheski to Orzik is downstairs. Throw down to first. One hopped catch made down there by Maliska, as Usal not shy about throwing it around the infield, trying to catch those runners off guard. The 1-0. Inside 2-0. Melcheski is set. Checks the runner at second. Brings it home. Throws the ball into center field, but the runner at second, Declan Smith, didn't get a good enough jump, and both runners are forced to stay right where they are. So fortunate there for St. Francis. Aaron Orzik started the inning with a ground out to short. Daniel Barrios would walk. Declan Smith would drive him in with a double. Kevin Dowling would walk, and now Orzik is up in the count here, 2-0. Breaking pitch doesn't catch the outer corner, and it's 3-0. So this is about the time that Mac has been pulled from these games. He's had starts of 4 1/3, 4, 6, 4 1/3, and 2 1/3. 3-0. Downstairs. Bases are loaded. It's the fourth walk now for Melcheski. The third here in the fifth inning alone. That'll bring up Joe Reisers. Reisers 1 for 2. Grounded out to end the first. Singled in the fourth. So St. Xavier not going away. They trail by 6, but they have the bases loaded. 1 out here in the fifth. First pitch misses away. So Mac has had trouble with the bases on balls this year, but he's been able to work around it for the most part. We'll see if he can do the same here in the fifth. See if he can induce a ground ball to a middle infielder. The 1-0. There's a strike, 1-1. Reisers followed by Patrick Hayes and then Colin Wolfe for the next 3 due up for the Cougars here in the bottom of the fifth. Mac kicks and fires. Breaking pitch upstairs, 2-1. Nowhere to put Reisers. The 2-1. Downstairs, 3-1. This could be it for Mac right here if he puts Reisers on via walk. He's walked 3 in the inning, 4 in the game. The bases are loaded. 1 out here in the fifth. It's 8-2. Saints with the lead. The 3-1 now. And that's ball 4. Reisers, I think, was expecting that to be called a strike. It was called ball 4. That's the 5th walk of the game, 4th of the inning. Reisers drives in a run, and St. Xavier gets that much closer now. It's 8-3, and that will indeed be it for Mac Melcheski. Mac pitched really, really well through the first 4 innings, but just lost feel for the ball here in the 5th. Ended up walking 4 of them here in the 5th inning. Gets the ball, and we'll give Give you the particulars on the new Saints pitcher here on the other side. New pitcher for the Saints here in the fifth is Sean Mahaulik. Sean making his 10th appearance of the season. 0-1, an ERA of just over 6. 14 and 2/3 innings, 10 earned runs. He's walked 4. He struck out 7. Opponents hitting .228 against the junior right-hander from New Lenox. And he comes in a difficult spot here. Bases loaded, 1 out. Patrick Hayes stepping in. Patrick's 1 for 2 here in game 2 with an RBI, and he's behind in the count 2-0. Runner at third is Dowling. Runner at second is Orzik. Runner at first is Reisers. They all reached via walk, and it's 2-0 on Hayes. 8-3 the score. And there's a pitch in there for a strike, 2-1. Melcheski, 4 1/3 innings, 5 hits, 5 walks, 2 strikeouts, 3 runs so far. He's responsible for all 3 runners, and that pitch is over for a strike. It's 2-2. Strikeout would be huge here from Mahaulik. Fly ball down the right field line, foul. Pop up on the infield, a strikeout, ground ball to a middle infielder, something that keeps that runner at third right where he is. It's the tying run in the on-deck circle here. 2-2 now to Hayes. Line drive to left center field. That ball's down for a base hit. That's going to score a pair. Reisers will stop at second, and we got a ball game. It's 8-5. Patrick Hayes having himself a really nice doubleheader. He's now 3 for 5 with 4 runs knocked in. Reisers goes down to second. I'll bring up Colin Wolfe now. Collins 0 for 2 with a couple of strikeouts. Mahaulik got ahead of Hayes, just not able to put him away. He's ahead in the count 2-2. Hayes fought off a pitch and then blooped the ball into left center field. Wolfe 0 for 2, first pitch swinging, pops it up behind home plate. In comes Mahaulik, And you don't normally see the old F1 there, the old foul out to the pitcher. Usually that's the catcher's ball. But Mahalik calls everybody off, makes the catch, 2 away. Wolf now 0 for 3. The 4-run fifth inning here so far for St. Xavier. They've turned an 8-1 game into an 8-5 game here with 4 in the fifth. Sam Ryan 0 for 2. Fly out and a pop out. First pitch grounded to short. Hidalgo has it, goes the short way, and St. Francis is finally able to get out of this jam, but St. Xavier scores 4. We're through 5, and it's a 3-run game. It's 8-5. We're back for inning number 6, and St. Xavier has made this a ball game. They scored 5 runs in the last 2 innings, turn an 8-0 game into an 8-5 game. Caleb Zier out there for his second full inning of relief now. He's pitched an inning and a third, keeping this Saints offense at bay while his offense gets his team back into the game. Saints will send up 2, 3, 4, Carrillo, Maffey, and Ketchum. And if anybody reaches, Brian Hidalgo will get another shot here in the 6th. Carrillo's been on base 3 times. A couple of singles and a hit by pitch. Counts 1-1 now. Singled and scored in the first, hit by pitch and scored in the third. Singled and was stranded at third in the 4th. That was another potential big inning for the Saints, that 4th inning. They had the bases loaded with 2 outs. Carrillo punches that one out to center. Back for it goes Wolf, and he's able to make the catch, 1 away. Carrillo gave that one a ride out to right center field, but Wolf was there. I think the wind caught that one a little bit, pushed Wolf back a little bit further than I think he anticipated. Eric Maffey now. Eric 1 for 2. RBI double back in the 3rd. He walked his last time up. 2 for 5 now in the series with a couple of doubles and an RBI. So the first 2 conference games of the year for each team, the CCAC conference. Last season, these 2 teams were separated by half a game. St. Xavier finished 22-7-1 in the conference, while St. Francis 22-8. Pitch on the outer edge, I guess, 2-1. Eric wanted that one. Big difference between 3-0 and 2-1. 2-1 now on the right fielder. Same place, same call, same reaction from Eric, 2-2. He didn't like either of them. Breaking pitch, Maffey smokes it deep to left field. Back on it goes Dowling. He's at the wall, and that ball is gone. Maffey liked that result a whole lot more than he liked the last 2 pitches. Home run to left is 8th of the year, and it's 9-5. Couple of pitches that Eric didn't like there on 2-0, on 2-0 and 2-1. The 2-2 pitch, he hit that one high in the air, a towering fly ball to left. Dowling watched it go. Home run number 8 for Maffey, and it's 9-5. Now Ketchum, 2 for 3. Luke, a couple of singles, a couple of runs scored, and an RBI. He's 3 for 6 in the 2-game series. Ground ball to the left side. Diving stop made by Hayes. Grabs it, scoops, and throws. And Ketchum's able to beat it by just a step. Nice pick over there at first by Reisers, but too much speed for Luke down the first base line. Luke now 3 singles in this one, and the big hitter so far here in game number 2 stepping in, Brian Hidalgo, 2 for 2 in the game. 2-run single in the first, 2-run homer to left in the third, hit by pitch to drive in a run in the fourth. He has 5 RBIs here in game 2. Had an RBI in game 1. First pitch swinging, fouls it off to the right. Last season, Eric Maffey had 5 home runs on the entire season. He now has 8 in 21 games this year. The power is there for the number 3 hitter, the right fielder, Eric Maffey. Hidalgo to the right again, 0-2. So if you're the Saints, that's what you like to see. The pitching gives a few runs back, but their offense picks it up here in the 6th, gets 1 back, gives them that 4-run lead back here. Pitch away, 1-2 now. Ryan 1 for 3 with a double and an RBI in game 1. Drove in the first run of the game in the 4th inning for the Saints. Had a 2-run single here in the first. Pitches downstairs for a ball, 2-2, and then his home run in the third was the definition of on a rope. It couldn't have been more than 20 feet off the ground at any one point, but it cleared that 348 sign down in left field. His first home run of the season. Pitch away, so he's worked an 0-2 count back to 3-2 here. See if Luke Ketchum is on the move here down at first. Luke 4 for 5 in stolen bases this season. This is normally a position where you send that runner at first. Full count, 1 out. There goes Ketchum. Ground ball to short. That'll keep him out of the double play. Throw over to first, and Hidalgo is retired 6-3, but Ketchum moves down to second, and that's why you do that. You stay out of the double play. You get that runner into scoring position with 2 outs, and now all you need is a bloop someplace by the man at the dish, John McGuire, and you can regain a 5-run advantage here. John 0 for 3. Grounded into a fielder's choice his last time up. 1 for 6 now in the series. Long look down at second. Smoke to left, but that's right at Dowling. And McGuire is having himself an unlucky day. That ball was hit hard by John, but Dowling didn't have to move at all, and that retires the side. But St. Francis gets a run back on the towering home run by Eric Maffey. We head to the bottom of the 6th. Saints up 9-5. We're back here for the bottom of inning number 6, and St. Xavier batted around in the 5th. They sent 9 men to the plate, scored 4 runs. And they will send up their catcher, Aaron Orzik. Orzik 0 for 2. Grounded out to start the 5th. He'll start the 6th here. First pitch swinging, grounded hard to Carrillo. Nice stop by Carrillo. Long throw across the diamond to retire Orzik. St. Francis been playing some really good defense here in this doubleheader. Nice play down at the hot corner by Carrillo. 1 away here in the 6th. Daniel Barrios now, the number 9 hitter. He's been up twice, doesn't have an official plate appearance. He's walked twice. Walked and scored in the 5th. He was one of 4 free passes issued in that inning. First pitch swinging, bloops it to left. In on it comes Vera. He's there. 2 quick outs here in the 6th inning, and that's what St. Francis needs, is a quick inning here in the 6th. Get the offense back out there. Sean Mahalik doing a nice job here, coming in relief. First batter he faced was Patrick Hayes. He gave up a 2-run single, but has sent the last 4 men down. Colin Wolfe, Sam Ryan, Aaron Orzik, and Daniel Barrios. He now faces Declan Smith. Declan 1 for 3, had an RBI double in the 5th. Pitches away. Nine runs, 12 hits, no errors for the Saints. There's a ground ball to short. Hidalgo again, and he continues his perfect afternoon in the field. A quick 1-2-3 inning by Sean Mahalik here in the 6th inning. We go to the 7th. The Saints up 9-5. Inning number 7 here at Dooley Health and Care Field in Joliet. The Saints lead the Cougars 9-5. The Saints look to end a very long losing streak. And in the 7th inning, they'll send up the bottom of the order. Gio Pappas, Dan Gusol, and Jake Vera against Zhu Chun Yen. Yen pitched in game 1 of the series and actually got the win in that game. Pitched a scoreless inning, giving up a hit. First pitch to Pappas is in there for a strike. Yen This is now his 8th appearance of the season. He's allowed 2 earned runs in 11 2/3 innings, 13 hits, 1 walk, 4 strikeouts. Doesn't walk very many batters, doesn't strike a lot of batters out. Pitches to contact, which is why he's given up more hits than innings pitched. But that 1 walk will keep you out of a whole lot of trouble. Pappas 1 for 3. He singled in the 3rd, sandwiched in between a strikeout and a pop-out. Swings and misses there. So Caleb Zier came in, went 2 1/3 innings for St. Xavier. Gave up 2 hits, gave up the long home run to Eric Maffey last inning. Walked 1, didn't strike anybody out. Follows Max Smith, who gave up a run in 2/3 of an inning, and Tommy Doherty, who gave up 7 runs and 8 hits in 2. Pappas swings and misses there, so that's the first strikeout of the game for Yen. And that'll bring up Dan Gusel. Dan 0 for 3, 3 groundouts. On the other side for St. Francis. Started out really, really nice for Mac Malcheski. Went 4 1/3 innings. First 4 innings, only gave up 1 run, 4 hits, 1 walk. Struck out a couple, but that 5th inning was a struggle, and his line ended up a little bit dirty. 4 1/3 innings, 5 hits, 5 runs, 5 walks, 2 strikeouts. Sean Mahalik has come in and pitched an inning and an inning and 2/3 here without giving up a run. So some good relief ball there. Pitch over to Gusel for a strike, 1-1. Pitch misses away, 2-1. Vera in the on-deck circle, and if anybody reaches, Nate Maliska will hit again. Two-one. Smoked out to center, but right at Wolf. It's about the 4th or 5th ball hit in this game that the Saints have hit right on the numbers, but right at an outfielder. That's 2 quick outs here in the 7th. Jake Vera, the number 9 hitter, 0 for 2 officially. A couple of strikeouts. He walked his last time up. Jake looking to flip that batting order again. Get it back up to the top here in the 7th inning. First pitch, Vera fouls straight back. Action in both bullpens. Vera squares to bunt, takes it away. 1-1. There's live action down in the St. Xavier bullpen. Down in St. Francis, it looks like whoever's warming up is ready to go for the bottom of the 7th. We'll see if whoever that is comes in or if they stick with Mahalik. The 1-1. Fouled back again, 1-2. Pitch downstairs to the number 9 hitter, Jake Vera, 2-2 now. Sun has apparently gone away for the evening, blocked behind the clouds. It's been a pretty nice day considering the weather we've had here in Chicago over the last few weeks. Ball's blooped to right center field, and Jake has himself a 2-out single. Bright sunny skies the last 2 days. A bit cloudy now, but still in the low 50s, high 40s here in Joliet. Nate Maliska, 2 for 4 in the game, 2 for 7 in the series. He's been on base 3 times, though. 2 singles here. He walked back in game 1. Freshman first baseman looking to extend the inning and get it to Hector Carrillo. Maliska first pitch swinging, ground ball into right field for a base hit. Vera hits second, stops there. And a couple of 2-out knocks here for St. Francis in the 7th. Going to get to the middle of that order and keep this thing moving. 2 on, 2 outs for Hector Carrillo. Hector's been on base 3 times here already through 6 innings. A couple of singles. Was hit by a pitch back in the 3rd. Has scored a couple of runs. That 5-run 3rd inning what got this thing started for St. Francis. A couple of home runs for the Saints here this afternoon. Brian Hidalgo, a 2-run homer in the third, and then last inning, Eric Maffey with his 8th home run of the season. Carrillo looking to get in on the fun here. 2 on, 2 outs in the 7th. Pitches away for a ball. If Carrillo reaches, Maffey would get a chance to hit here in the 7th inning. Carrillo flew out to center his last time up. Time called. And they're saying that Yen took too much time there, so they're putting a ball up on the scoreboard. Yen with a delay, too long of a delay in between his pitches. It's 2-0 now on Carrillo. Swung on and missed, 2-1. Yen is ready. Looks at the runner at second, comes home with the 2-1. Breaking pitch fooled Carrillo, 2-2. Hector down in the count now. St. Francis has stranded 6 runners here so far in game 2. They have 14 hits. A couple of walks. Had base runners on in pretty much every inning. Except the second inning. They went in order in that inning. They've had runners on in every single inning of this game so far. Carrillo looking to pick up Vera from second with 2 outs here in the 7th. The 2-2 is away, 3-2. Both runners will be off with the pitch here. Vera at second, Maliska at first, Carrillo at the dish. The count is full. Zhu Chun Yen on the mound for the Cougars. Here comes the payoff pitch. Both runners, Yen fooled me. He stopped and swung around and feigned back to second base. Try to keep that runner as close to the bag as possible. So that a bloop to the outfield or a hit to the outfield can't get him home. Vera's got good speed, though. Here comes the payoff. And that's away for a ball, and the bases are loaded for Eric Maffey. And last time Eric was up, he unloaded. Took a couple pitches that he didn't agree with on a 2-0 count and a 2-1 count. Shook his head both times. And on the 2-2 count, didn't give the umpire a chance to ring him up. He hit a towering fly ball to left that cleared the wall, giving him his 8th home run of the season. Looking to extend this Saints lead here in the 7th. Bases loaded, 2 outs. 9-5, St. Francis with the lead. First pitch to Maffey is downstairs for a ball. Eric can undo that 4-run 5th inning in a hurry here. Hits that one a ton down the right field line. That's going to go well foul. 1-1. Wind continues to blow straight out to left center and center field. Eric 2 for 3 today. He was 1 for 3 in game 1. Another pitch fouled back. He has 2 doubles, a home run, and 2 RBIs here in the doubleheader. Getting off to a hot start in this long CCAC schedule. Pitcher and batter are ready. Here comes the delivery, and Maffey tops it foul down the third baseline. Stays 1-2 on the Saints' number 3 hitter. Yen is ready. Looks at the runner at third. The 1-2. Maffey swings and misses. He chased the pitch out of the strike zone, and Yen is able. The man who doesn't strike out a lot of batters has 2 strikeouts here in the 7th, including one of Eric Maffey with the bases loaded. It's time to stretch. We go to the bottom of the 7th. Saints still lead by 4. Bottom of the 7th inning. Sean Mahalik back out there for his 3rd inning of work. He's pitched an inning and 2/3 so far, and he'll face 2-3-4 for St. Xavier. So hopefully Saints are able to lock this one down, and they won't look back at that 7th inning as an opportunity. An opportunity missed. The bases loaded. Eric Maffey at the dish, and Eric swung at a bad pitch out of the strike zone. First pitch from Mahalik to Dowling. Dowling is in there for a strike. Dowling 1 for 2. He doubled in the first, flew out in the 4th, walked and scored in the 5th. 9-5, Saints with the lead. Ground ball to third base. Carrillo has it all the way across the diamond, and just continuing a trend of just fantastic infield play here in this doubleheader by the Saints. At the left side of the infield, Hector Carrillo and Brian Hidalgo have been fantastic defensively and offensively. That'll bring up Evan Orzik. Orzik's 1 for 2. He doubled in the 4th. He scored in the 4th. And then he walked and scored in the 5th. Joe Reiser's in the on-deck circle, and if anybody reaches, Patrick Hayes, who's been the big bat here in Game 2 for St. Xavier, would get a chance to hit. He has 3 RBIs. The 1-0 to Orzik. Misses away 2-0. Hit in the air out to center. Over for it is Ketchum in front of Jake Vera, making the catch 2 away. Sean Mahalik doing a fantastic job here so far. It's 2 1/3 innings of scoreless relief. He's given up 1 hit. He allowed 2 inherited runners to score. That first batter he faced, Patrick Hayes, wasn't able to put him away after having him down in the count 1-2. Hayes was able to pick up a 2-run single, but since then, 7 straight retired by Mahalik. That pitch is in there for a strike. Right-handed action in the Saints bullpen. Right-handed action in the Cougars bullpen. 0-1. Popped foul down the right field line. Nothing. And Wind's trying to blow that one back onto the field. Wow. That ball looked like it was going to be about 12 or 15 rows back. It ended up in the second row of the stands down behind the St. Francis dugout. Reiser's down in the count, 0-2 here. The 0-2 pitch. Inside, I think that hit his bat. I think it hit the knob of the bat of Reiser's. Yeah, that did. Sean has pitched 2 scoreless. His last 2 outings have been scoreless. He pitched a scoreless inning against Warner, 2/3 of an inning against Bellevue, and 2 1/3 scoreless here so far against St. Xavier. Line drive, base hit to center field for Reisers. Second hit allowed by Mahalik, the first in the last 9 batters. The last man to get a hit off of Sean Mahalik is the man at the plate, Patrick Hayes. Patrick 2 for 3. A couple of singles, 3 runs knocked in. Sean hasn't pitched badly this year. He had really one bad outing against Weber International back on March 5th, where he gave up 2 hits and 4 runs. And that pitch gets Hayes. Hayes goes down to first. He's hit by a pitch. Risers to second. So 2 on, 2 outs here for Colin Wolfe. Gave up 4 runs. Didn't record an out in that game back on 3-5, but has pitched pretty well other than that. He's had a couple of 3-inning outings, one against Lyon back on 2/17 where he gave up 1 run, and then on February 21st against Lewis, he pitched 3 scoreless. So he's had a couple of really nice outings. That one outing against Weber is sort of skewing his stats a little bit, the 4 earned runs and no innings. First pitch to Wolfe is upstairs for a ball. Colin 0 for 3, couple of strikeouts, 0 for 6 in the series. Big out here for St. Francis. Trying to get to the 8th with a 4-run lead as Wolfe, big swing, comes up empty. The 1-1. Mahalik kicks and fires. Ground ball to short, fielded by Hidalgo, goes the short way, and Brian Hidalgo flashing the leather in the bottom of the 7th. We go to the 8th. The Saints still lead by 4. New pitcher out there for the 8th inning for the Cougars. It is the right-hander, junior Brendan Gill, 6'3", 230-pounder out of Evergreen Park. Gill has not been scored upon this year. This is his 6th appearance of the season. 4 2/3 innings, just 1 hit in 4 2/3 innings. Has walked 4, struck out 3. Opponents are hitting just 100 against the big right-hander. And first batter he will face is Luke Ketchum, and he goes up and in on Luke. So Gill flashing that perfect 0.00 ERA. And he'll face Luke Ketchum, who's 3 for 4 here so far today with 3 singles. He's up in the count here, 2-0. Ketchum, Hidalgo, McGuire, and if anybody reaches, Pappas here in the 8th. Hit high in the air to left field. That ball's going to hook foul, though. Joliet Fire Department's going to have a souvenir if they go check their front yard. That ball was smoked by Luke, but he just got out ahead of it. 2-1. Stays back on this one, pops it to the right side. 2-2. Luke just looking to straighten that ball out just a little bit. Had the distance, not the accuracy. 2-2 now on Ketchum. Swung on and missed, strike 3. First strikeout of the game for Ketchum. First strikeout of the game for Gill. And the 8th strikeout of the game for St. Xavier pitching. And that'll bring up Brian Hidalgo, who has been the star of this one at the dish and in the field. He has made just a handful of terrific defensive plays out there at shortstop for the Saints here this afternoon. But at the plate, 5 runs knocked in. Give him 3 hits, 2 singles, a home run, 5 runs knocked in for Brian Hidalgo. He's on base for a 4th time here in game number 2. He has 7 putouts, 7 assists in this game. Fielded his position flawlessly to go along with his 3 hits and 5 RBIs. He's had a terrific game. John McGuire now 0 for 4. John squares to bunt, pulls it back. The pitch is away. John hit the ball really hard his last time up to left, but right at the left fielder Dowling. John 1 for 7 here in the doubleheader this afternoon. A timeout as the ball gets away from the pitcher down in the St. Xavier bullpen. We're ready to go. The 1-0. Upstairs 2-0. Saints looking for their first conference victory, their first victory on their home field this year, and they're looking to snap what's now a 13-game losing streak. Pitches away 3-0. Brian Hidalgo over at first. He's been on base 4 times this afternoon. A home run, a couple of singles, and a hit by pitch. 3-0 pitches. Pumped in there for a strike, 3-1. Left-handed action down in the St. Xavier bullpen. Gill is ready, the 3-1. Upstairs for a ball. 2 on, 1 out here in the 8th, and Gio Pappas steps in. Gio 1 for 4. It's a single and a couple of strikeouts. I think we're going to have a pinch runner down at second as Hidalgo will come out. And there will be a pinch runner down there at second base. Montgomery will pinch run for Hidalgo. It's Matt Montgomery, the freshman from Orland Park. Pappas tries to hold up his swing. He can't. He's down in the count, 0-1. So Montgomery out there as a pinch runner for Hidalgo at second. John McGuire over at first. Gio Pappas at the dish. Brendan Gill on the mound. 9-5 Saints with the lead. 15 hits. Saints have pounded out in game 2 after only 5 in game 1. Pappas hits that ball on a line to center field. It gets down in front of Wolf. They're going to wave in Montgomery. Here comes the throw. The ball gets away from Wolf. And we saw this in the first game, too, as Wolf struggled on that ball in front of him. Pappas with the base hit. He's going to advance to second on the E8. The run is going to score on the E8. McGuire moves to third, and the Saints have 2 runners in scoring position here with 1 out. That'll bring up Dan Gusel. Gusel runners at second and third. Going to get something to the outfield. You give Pappas an RBI on that single. So he drives in Montgomery. Ground ball to the left side. The throw to the plate. Nice play at the plate made by Smith and Orzek, and they are able to retire McGuire at the dish. The 6-2 putout is not something you see very often down at home plate. Pappas stays at second. Gusel goes down to first on the fielder's choice. Dan hit that ball hard. We're going to have a pitching change here. The lefty's going to come in to face Jake Vera. We'll give you the information on that lefty here in just a minute. The lefty for St. Xavier here in the 8th is Noah Scott. Noah's making his team-leading 11th appearance of the season. He's 0-1, ERA of 6.75, 12 hits allowed in 6 2/3 innings, 5 walks, 4 strikeouts. Opponents are batting a lofty 400 against the lefty Scott, and he will face a lefty in Jake Vera. First pitch is in there for a strike. Jake, 1 for 3. He's reached base in each of his last 2 plate appearances, walked in the 5th, singled in the 7th. Looking to get some additional runs on the board here. 2 on, 2 outs in the 8th. Saints have had runners on base all afternoon. The only inning they went in order was the 2nd. They stranded the bases loaded in the 4th and the 7th. They have 2 on here. Gio Pappas at second, Dan Gusel at first. Pitches away to Vera, 2-1. If he reaches Maliska, get a chance to hit. It's a 5-run Saints lead. St. Xavier was able to get it down to 3. It was 8-5, but runs in the 6th and the 8th by the Saints. And fantastic relief pitching by Sean Mahalik was able to kind of settle things down a little bit for St. Francis and allow the offense to get back to work here in the last couple of innings. 2-2 on Vera. Pitch is called. Strike 3 on the outside corner. Jake doesn't like that one, but he's going to walk back to the bench as St. Francis strands a couple of base runners. We go to the bottom of the 8th. The Saints are up 10-5. We're back for the bottom of the 8th, and Sean Mahalik is still out there. 25 pitches for the right-hander. He's pitched 2 2/3 innings so far, giving up just 2 hits. And he'll be out there to face Aaron Orzik, and Daniel Barrios here in the 8th. First pitch swinging is Ryan. Hits it to the right side. And the second baseman, John McGuire, is there to put it away for the first out. So that's 3 scoreless innings pitched by Sean Mahalik here in relief. Longest outing of the year for Sean has been 3 innings. So he's right there. Which he's done on a couple of occasions. On the 17th and the 21st of February. And he'll face Aaron Orzik here. Or excuse me, that looks like a pinch hitter down there. It's number 25, which looks like Lucas Rodriguez on my roster here. Pitches away, 2-1. Line drive, foul down the right field line. That's 26, excuse me, not 25. That's Jackson McFarland, the freshman out of Terre Haute. Getting a pinch hitting opportunity here in the 8th. Pitches away. 3-2, the count on McFarland. Barrios in the on-deck circle. And it's called strike 3. First strikeout of the game for Mahalik. Second out here in the 8th. Two outs here in the 8th inning. Mahalik, 3 1/3 innings now, and he will face Barrios. Barrios 0 for 1 officially here this afternoon in game 2. A couple of walks. He flew out to left back in the 6th. Pitch is low for a ball. We go to the 9th. St. Francis will have the top of the order, Meliska, Carrillo, and Maffey coming to the plate. They look to end this long losing streak and get a tick on the right side of the column. Look to improve to 6-16 on the season. 2-0, the count on Barrios. Pitch is in there for a strike, 2-1. Barrios doesn't like that call, thinks it was inside. Barrios hit a home run to right in game 1. It was the first run of the game for St. Xavier in the 3rd inning. Went on to win that game 3-2. Walk-off fashion as Evan Orzik would knock home Declan Smith with the 3rd of 3 2-out singles by St. Xavier in the bottom of the 7th to walk off game 1 3-2. Offense been a little bit more active here in game 2 for both teams. Line drive to right field. Barrios has himself a base hit. That'll get the top of the order up, Declan Smith. Declan 1 for 4 in game 1, 1 for 4 in game 2 as a double and an RBI here in the 5th inning. Breaking pitch upstairs, 1-0. The 1-0. Breaking pitch doesn't break, stays inside, 2-0. Sean Mahalik, 3 1/3 innings of shutout relief so far. Pitch gets away, back to the backstop. Barrios to second on the wild pitch. Mahalik is up to 38 pitches now. You have to start to wonder if the fatigue is setting in here a little. I think they want him to be able to get through this eighth. He's behind in the count, 3-0 to Declan Smith. Kevin Dowling in the on-deck circle, and then Evan Orzik. There is action in the St. Francis bullpen. Right-handed action down there. 3-0. Called a strike, 3-1. Mahalik comes set. Brings it home. Works the count full, 3-2 to Declan Smith, the shortstop for the Cougars. Payoff pitch. Mahalik to Smith. Hit down the right field line, giving chase is Maffey, but that'll land in the St. Francis bullpen. And we will do the payoff pitch again. Declan Smith came in a 155 hitter, was 1 for 4 in game 1, 1 for 4 in game 2. So he's going to stay right around that 250 batting average. Scored the game-winning run in game 1. Had the 2-out single to get that rally started for St. Xavier. The 3-2. Grounded foul over to the St. Xavier dugout. We'll do it again. Long pause in between pitches from Mahalik. Here comes another 3-2. Misses away. Smith will go down to first. First walk of the game for Mahalik. 6th walk of the game for St. Francis pitching. We'll see if that'll be it or if they're going to stick with him. Kevin Dowling is announced, and looks like they're going to stick with Sean here. 2 outs, 2 on in the 8th. Dowling 1 for 3. First pitch in there for a strike. Last time up, Dowling grounded to third. The 0-1. Popped foul, 0-2. Mahalik is 1 strike away from getting out of this. He's taking his time, taking a long walk around the mound. Peers into Gusel. Gets his signal. Mahalik is ready. The 0-2. Hit out to center, right at Ketchum. Luke takes about a step and a half to his left, makes the catch, and that retires the side. Sean Mahalik, 3 2/3 innings of shutout relief. We go to the 9th. The Saints are up 5. Ninth inning here at Dooley Health and Care Field. St. Francis right now doubling up St. Xavier. It's 10-5 in the ninth. Nate Maliska will lead things off here in the ninth inning for the Saints. Nate's 3 for 5, has 3 singles in this game. 2 up the middle, 1 to right field. Been on base 4 times here in the doubleheader. Takes the first pitch away for a ball. Maliska, Carrillo, Maffey, and if anybody reaches, catch him. That one also misses away, 2-0. 3 straight pitches away and out of the strike zone, and Nate Maliska is in command here, 3-0. That's ball 4. Nate's been on base 4 times here this afternoon, 5 times in the series. That's what you want out of your leadoff hitter, just get on base. Hector Carrillo now has also been getting on base. He's been on base 4 times this afternoon as well. And Maliska's going to be pinch run for here. It's going to be Ethan Fleming, the freshman from Plainfield. Fleming back in safely. Ethan, a pitcher, has made 8 appearances so far this season. Out there now as a pinch runner. 0-1, the count on Carrillo. Hector, 2 hits. He's been hit by a pitch. He's walked. He scored a couple of runs, drops that one down. The throw down to first, and Carrillo is just barely out. Fleming down to second. On the 1-3 putout, that'll bring up Eric Maffey here. The runner at second and 1 out. Carrillo with the sac bunt lays it down nicely. Only play to first. Eric Maffey, 2 for 4 here this afternoon. Homered in the 6th. Struck out with the bases loaded in the 7th. It's a couple of runs scored. Has 3 runs scored in the series. Has a couple of doubles and a home run here in the doubleheader. Maffey followed by Ketchum and then Hidalgo. The 1-0 to Maffey. Mashes it to right. It stays up, though, and Barrios makes the catch. Ball hooked right back into the glove of Barrios. Luke Ketchum now. Luke 3 for 5. He has 3 singles. Like Brian Hidalgo to get an opportunity here in the 9th to reach base for a 5th time. His 5 RBIs. He's been on base 4 times. First pitch to Ketchum. Hit to short, fielded by Smith. Long throw, and he retires Ketchum. So Scott able to work around a leadoff walk. Last chance here for St. Xavier. We go to the bottom of the 9th. They need 6. New pitcher for the bottom of the ninth inning, trying to close this thing down for St. Francis, is the sophomore Quinn McGuire, 6'2", 224-pound right-hander out of New Lenox. Quinn is making his 6th appearance of the season. He's had a couple of starts, 1-1 ERA, a little bit high, 11.88 on the season. That's 11 earned runs in 8 innings. He's walked 8, he struck out 9, and it's not going to be easy for him. He faces the heart of the St. Xavier lineup. That's Orzik, Risers, and Hayes here in the 9th. First pitch swinging, grounded to Maliska. Maliska bobbles it, gets it over to McGuire. McGuire drops it, and Orzik is at first. It's probably going to go as an E1, but it could have been a couple of errors as the ball was fielded cleanly by Maliska. He then dropped it, threw it to McGuire, who then dropped it. So there is the lead runner on here for Orzik, and you really can't oversell the work of Sean Mahalik here this afternoon. 3 2/3 innings of shutout relief, giving up just 3 hits, 1 walk. He struck out 1, and the St. Xavier offense was coming to life in that 5th inning via the walk. They scored 4 runs in that inning. We're going to have a pinch runner here for St. Xavier. Looks like number 1. Yep, it's going to be number 1, Nick Dombrowski will pinch run for Orzik. First pitch in there to Risers is a strike. So yeah, you really can't oversell the work that Sean Mahalik did here this afternoon. Really settled things down for St. Francis and allowed them to sort of retake control of things offensively as St. Xavier got within 3. It was 8-5 after 5, but 3 2/3 shutout baseball by Sean Mahalik. A couple of runs for St. Francis, and you look up and it's a 5-run lead here in the 9th. Pitch downstairs, 2-1 to Risers. Risers has a couple of hits. He's been on base 3 times. His last 3 plate appearances, he's reached a couple of singles sandwiched around a walk. Orzik down at first on the E3 officially. Fisted foul, 2-2. Risers was 0 for 2 with a walk and a run scored in the first game. The 2-2. Grounded off the foot of Risers, and he goes down in a heap. Off that front foot, the instep, the ankle. That doesn't feel good. So do it again. 2-2 on Risers. Hayes followed by Wolf and Sam Ryan. 2-2 gets him. Oh, wait. Home plate umpire is going to say that didn't get Risers. So the two have to converse again. This is the second time we've seen this already. Pretty clearly looked like it hit Risers on that left shoulder, but we'll see what they decide here. I guess they're just calling it a ball, so ball 3. McGuire is ready. Here comes the pitch. Line drive right at the third baseman. Long throw back across the diamond, and they get him over at first. Hector Carrillo makes the catch. The strong throw over to Maliska, and they double up Dombrowski for the second out of the inning. Once again, that strong left side of the infield for St. Francis getting it done Hector Carrillo, the long, hard, accurate throw over to first, and just like that, 2 outs, nobody on, and Patrick Hayes at the dish. The last chance for St. Xavier. Takes the pitch downstairs for a ball. He's reached base 3 times. He has 3 RBIs. 4 RBIs in the doubleheader. Foul ball over to the right. 1-1. Pitch up and in. 2-1. If Hayes reaches, Colin Wolfe would bat next. McGuire's ready. Kicks and fires. Inside, 3-1. McGuire delivers. Ground ball through the left side. Base hit for Hayes. He's been on base 4 times here. 3 singles in game 2. He's been on base 6 times here in 2 games. And that will bring up Colin Wolfe. Colin's had himself a difficult series with the bat. 0 for 3 in this game, 0 for 3 in the first game. First pitch swinging, fouls it back into the right, 0-1. Last time up, though, he hit the ball pretty hard, but it was at the wrong person. It was Brian Hidalgo, and Brian was able to record the final out of the inning on a fielder's choice. 0-1. Ground ball to the left side. There's Carrillo. Scoops, fires, throws, ball game. The St. Francis Saints end their losing streak, win their first CCAC game of the season by the score of 10-5. 10 runs, 16 hits, 1 error for St. Francis, 5, 9, and 2 for St. Xavier. And thanks Sean Mahalik and his 3 2/3 shutout baseball, helping this St. Francis team pick up their first victory here at home on the season offensively. I mean, where do you start? Brian Hidalgo, 5 RBIs. He reached base 4 times. Eric Maffey with a home run. But just up and down the lineup, this St. Francis team, that offense was cruising in game 2. So the team split the doubleheader. St. Xavier wins game 1, 3-2. St. Francis wins game 2, 10-5. I hope you had a great time watching St. Francis Saints baseball here this afternoon. I had a great time bringing it to you. Have a great rest of your evening, everybody.